But there must be a way out here. And what Zelensky is saying seems to suggest at least a beginning of one. One part of what he said to Stuart is that there could be cessation of hostilities as long as there were security guarantees from NATO. Now, the NATO foreign ministers are meeting this week. Will David Lammy support any proposal that would offer those security guarantees?
We want Ukraine to have a secure future, but I don't think at this stage our Foreign Secretary or NATO in general will get into the detail of what that might look like. The bottom line will be we want Ukraine to be able to decide its own future. Sorry to interrupt
you, but Zelensky said, he rather pointedly said that he wanted to be part of NATO, but he had not been asked. Should he be?
I don't know whether Ukraine will be part of NATO or not in the future. I can't predict that. What I do know is that I want the country to be free to make decisions about its own future. Any application like that would have to be considered properly by NATO in the future.
But you could envisage something like that because, the problem that we have here is that there's a deal that some people are talking about. They're talking about it in DC that would allow Mr. Putin to keep the territorial gains he's won on the battlefield, Crimea, Donbass. If the Ukrainians ever agreed, could you imagine our government backing such a deal?
I think, there may be moves on this when the new president takes office in a couple of months. I don't quite know what they will be, and I don't think anyone else does at this stage. The principle that we would approach anything around that would be that Ukraine's got to be free to make its choices. We don't want to see Ukraine coerced into accepting a deal that it doesn't want here. We want them to be free to make their own choices. And that's the stance we've taken all the way through because we understand the stakes here. If President Putin's invasion of Ukraine is rewarded with the country being totally under his thumb in the future, what signal does that send out to the other countries in Eastern Europe? What signal does that send out to the world? And in other hotspots or places around the world where someone might have territorial designs over another place. This is hugely important for the world that Ukraine is allowed to make its own decisions.